Good afternoon, my dudes. It is Wednesday, and you know what time it is? It's Evetech Buyers guide time. This week, we will see the culmination, well, actually in about 6 days, we're going to see the culmination of the New Year, New You specials. So, and then there should be a break before Easter specials pop up. So these are going to be the last time you have access to these specific specials. Pricing and stuff is probably going to change on a number of things. So I've gone through the entire list and selected the 10 best, like my favorite products actually from the list. Maybe not necessarily even the best deals, just the products that I absolutely love from that list. So I'm going to give you a full top 10 on that. Plus, I have got some very cool stuff coming out over the next 6 days ish or so. We do have a 7950X 3D, which is currently in the lab and is going to go through a significant amount of benchmarking. Let's put it that way. I've got the new Arena 3s from Steelseries. They're new, like bookshelf type or the near field monitor sort of speakers and stuff that are actually pretty damn mint. So I'm going to be bringing out the review on that probably tomorrow. And then I've got one of the new Corsair ultra slim, ultra light, fancy, keyboards. It's trying to be like a all-in-one crossover for Mac and the rest of it. So it's got a couple of extra special and nice features. So we've got some pretty cool products coming up for review on the channel. And once again, if there's anything you guys would like to see reviewed, just let me know in the comments down below. But without further ado, without further gilding of the lilies, let's jump into the top 10. Starting off at number 10, it's Monster Clarity 700 dB. That's not the amount of decibels, because that would blow your literal socks off. No, it's just the model number. But this, out of all of the ones I've tested, these were the best. They generally have pretty similar audio tone and battery life and functions, and etc, etc. But out of the audio quality bin, these were by far the best that I've tested so far out of the Monster in-ears. So if you want to know which ones are the best, these pretty much are the best. They are on the more expensive end, but they were literally like sick on sick. Coming in at number 9 is my favorite budget keyboard, the E3 60%. There's nothing like this at the price. The Mad Catz Strike 6 is sort of the one up from here, but it's $1,000. So it's $400 more than this, and they're basically the same. The big advantage of the Mad Catz Strike 6 being you can replace switches and keycaps and stuff, because it's got a modular design. But if you just want a no frills, no fuss, really good backlit, straightforward 60% keyboard, then this is the one to go for. There's like 30 functions built into the keyboard. You can see with all the extras and stuff. I do detail the switching of the WASD with the arrow keys and stuff. Everything is in the review there if you need it. Coming in at number 8, it's Adata XPG. It's a Gen 4 1 TB Nvme for a whole 1,600 Rand. Price versus performance is just sick. They do 5-year warranty on these. Really been enjoying the Adata stuff since I got my 12th gen bench. I've been using their RAM, and literally not once have I had a compatibility issue. The only time I've had problems with it is where I've been overclocking and fiddling with it and with the processor. But if you run these things on stock settings, out of box and stuff, they're perfect. And it's just more, better, more, because look at the price. At number 7 is one of the most fun products you can buy on the T80. I really enjoyed this. There's a full review over here with some gameplay. You can see I was skimming through it. It's still a pretty good review, I gotta say. My audio improved significantly from then, thanks to you. But beyond that, like everything that I talk about in the review is exactly what I remember, like going to arcades and sitting in those kinds of machines and stuff, and just having a good fun time playing like a racing game. With this, it was more of exactly the same of that, but now I can do it at home at any time in less than $2,000. If you wanted to get a wheel, just to mess around with some Maceto or that kind of, I wouldn't go further than that. Don't go think of this as like a thing for iRacing or something extreme, but borderline like some sort of stuff, you're gonna have a really good time. At number 6, it's this B450 upgrade kit with a Ryzen 4500. These are sort of kind of like matched perfectly. This is the match made in heaven kits. It's really good bang for buck. If you've got a good mid-range GPU, you're looking at like say 6600 XT or 3060 Ti at that sort of point, I'd say anything after that is you're going to notice some pretty significant CPU throttling against the GPU's performance. But if that's the sort of level you're going for, like even outside, yeah, RX 6600, 3060, basically in the same bin as well. If that's the sort of level you're looking at, and you know, trying to get a PC done under 15K with those really aggressive secondhand prices that we're seeing now, then this is the base setup I would suggest you go for. Simply because it's got an M.2 space over there just underneath the GPU. You can see that it's got space for M.2 and it's got 4 DIMMs. So it's got some pretty decent upgrading. It doesn't have like the most amazing power phasing. You can see it's only what 6 around the chip plus 1. So it's not going to do incredibly well on chips that are higher than 65 watt TDP, but this just happens to be a 65 watt TDP. So if you stick this in there with like a decent cooler and give it a Ryzen master, it'll run pretty damn well. Speaking of well-priced memory, at number 5, we find just more Adata XPG goodness. These kits are sick. This is exactly the same as the DDR5 sets that I use. These heatsinks are, let's say, a little overkill, which is not a bad thing, is it? Because it's just going to make the RAM run at a better temperature and give you consistent performance. 4000 megahertz or 4133 at CL19 as well. They are quite sharply timed. So these are not slouch kits. And they should have, in general, like really good support. If the board has support and the processor for 4000 plus, like on OC, I can almost guarantee these will work with absolutely everything, because so far I haven't run into any issues. At number 4, it's the MSI Crosshair 15. This for me is the pick for premium laptops right now, because it's coming with the 12900H, which is just a monster. It's basically my 5900X in a laptop, which is disturbing a little bit for me. 1 TB NVMe, 1440p, 165Hz, really nice chassis as well, Wi-Fi 6. It's got like proper webcam in it. Yeah, it's Windows 11 Home, I think is the only detractor really. But main thing here is it's got that 3070 Ti as well, which you've just seen if you've seen the last video on Jared's Tech with him versing it with the 4070. There's not a lot of difference between the two, unless it has the frame generation stuff, the new technology coming out from Nvidia. But not a lot of games and stuff have that, and everywhere else it was pretty much a dead heat between the two. So these 3070 Ti's are not to be skipped on, and this price versus performance and the package, etc., is pretty much the best at 40 grand you're gonna get. At number 3, they price dropped the Dell even further. Now 32 inches, 1440p, 165Hz is gonna set you back 6K. It's a VA, so there is going to be a little bit of smearing. It does have better contrast performance over the IPS. It does have better contrast performance in general on testing and stuff. It was funny because one of the old marketing managers at Evetech told me I couldn't possibly see that with my eyes, and then I sent him a thing showing I can actually see that with my eyes. VA does have a better contrast ratio in general, but you do get a bit of smearing. But then when I found when they increased the size, that smearing was maybe 1% of what it was on my 1080p 27. So yeah, these are insane. I tested the older version of this that didn't have the periscope neck and all the rest of it, and that one I was like, you kind of gonna want to get a arm for it. But in this case, they're giving you that new periscope neck, so you can go like have some serious control. A nice slim base as well. So yeah, they're just making these just better and better every damn generation. Flippin' dull. Coming in the second spot with the 13600K of upgrade kit. This is my favorite upgrade kit. I'm selling these to homies hand over fist. They've changed. The only thing that's changed out recently is they've gone with the LS520 SE, which is just actually a little bit neater of a cooler to work with. The difference between it and the Castle is really the fan quality and a little bit of RPM and stuff on there, and not much else. The pumps are almost exactly the same. There's like 150 RPM difference between the two, so it does show on performance results it's a couple of percent better, but it's not so much better that it's going to make a massive difference honestly in the overall delivery of this kit, which is really centered around this damn good motherboard and good memory combined with this 13600K. And yeah, if you've been watching my socials as of late, you can see you can push some wattage to these things and they just don't fail. They just don't fall over. I bounce mine off 99 degrees all day, every day on the bench, and it just sits and deals with it. I love these things. They are extremely stable, super sharp and nippy, really nice, responsive, effective feel, and there's not a GPU on the market that can bottleneck that CPU. And finally, in the number 1 spot, the best way to spend your money on a laptop or PC, it's this HP Victus. because generation after generation, once again, they're just continuously improving and just giving you performance for free effectively. I don't know how they're getting to these price points, but they are sick. You get in the new 12500H, which is a 12 core 16 thread. So you got P-core, E-core split there once again. That's why it comes out like that, because E-cores don't have hyper-threading and P-cores do have hyper-threading. But the effect of that is you get a lot of multi-threaded processing without having to throw a lot of wattage at the situation. Then those P-cores carry you through gaming. This 12500H is actually pretty mismatched with the 3050. The 3050 is going to be a bottleneck in every single game. And that's not a bad bottleneck to have, because the only thing bottlenecking really is the VRAM, which I've shown in some other reviews. We'll give you a pop-up for the older Victus review and you can see what I'm talking about over there. But the screen is sublime. It's one of the best. It's the best at the price point. The chassis is like the second best in market as far as I'm concerned. And at the price point, absolutely untouchable. The battery life, 5-6 hours, no problems. Sold one of these to my mates for a working machine. He now doesn't bother with his gaming PC. It's got a 588 gig in it. This runs games better and smoother, and it's just easier for him while he's there. He just switches over to the game. These are sick. 70 degrees was like the average temperatures under load. Imagine 70 degrees under 100% load. They're well cooled. Nice simple chassis, incredibly good 3-year warranty that comes with it. Price versus performance, basically untouchable. What more could you ask for? These are the best laptops available on Evetech right now. And honestly, if you're looking at getting a gaming PC at the same money, just buy this laptop rather. You will get a better performance from the PC, but everything else, you don't get a screen when you buy a PC. You don't get a keyboard and mouse and etc. and a fully functioning system that you can take anywhere with you. So if you ever were going to have that conundrum of, oh, should I buy a gaming PC or get a gaming laptop? There is no more conundrum. This is the better choice. And that, my Liptions, is all I have for you this week. I do hope you've enjoyed this buyer's guide. And if you have, please do hit us up with a like and subscribe. And I will see you tomorrow with some Arena 3s.